The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Vae Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the colony. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like. A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of... He and I are different on more than a few levels. But... he would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, the man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death, on both sides. Freestar Collective, and UC. Military, and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they... He had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne. A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing... But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their out... Both sides agreed the settled system. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or, if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terramorph project... There's no need to be afraid of this data being weapon. Knowing that should calm some of the cabinet's fears and make it easier for us to dispel any suspicions the other faction... I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being Fleet Admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy. Perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me, too. But Vae Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life. eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but the cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise. Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard. Captain, enjoy your time in New Atlantis.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Captain, that's...
Vanguard.
Certainly comfortable speaking your mind now, aren't you? Not an unwelcome quality considering the circumstances. Regardless, let's get to business. We have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor. That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single... seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirst...
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terramorph seem at all...
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
It doesn't matter if it can be weaponized or not. The archives need to remain sealed for now. There's no reason to rush into a decision of this magnitude.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well.
You and I are in agreement, Chief. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our... What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More... Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Did they say there was an attack?
They're not letting us leave. This is bad, isn't it?
You! The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
Stop! We're trying to help you!
Please! I can't!
What are you doing? EM fire, Captain!
Bad luck for you!
Well, that's that.
That's it! Now hit him with everything you've got!
This was a good outing. Once, I'd be happy to carry a few things. Maybe another time. Next time. Got another one! Hope you're ready to die.
Shoot! Not me! We have to help! Not me! We have to help them!
Give it your best shot. Back to the lodge, shall we? Let's see what you've got. Bring me anything useful. Time to go?
Lights out on that one!
Thank God you got here.
Yeah, what the hell happened back there, Captain? There's no excuse for you. Sorry doesn't bring these people back. Now, the way those people were acting, I've seen this before.
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started... We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way. But some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just...
Pheromonic projection. Some terramorphs, it affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the... I'm not suggesting. The result of the projection, and some lose control all. Those cases, you'll either need to knock them out with EM fire, or free them by... Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please.
What was that?
God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
You might back up. Don't just stand there.
I've still got it after all.
Wait, officer? Are you and this woman... experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, got one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a fight.
we're not UC security. You don't need to... Roger that. We're...
Anyone nosing around here's gotta have a death wish.
Get it done, Marine! Move up! Keep the pressure! Injury!
You can't.
Oh, God. Captain! You're going to be okay! It's not real! Whatever you're experiencing right now is not real! We have to put down that force!
Run! Run now! Go!
Damn it!
In my head!
What is this, a new surprise? Let's see how quickly we can die.
Arms out of commission. Clear.
Find anything useful?
Target down! Nice work, Captain!
It's over. Thank God.
Reached
The populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Never wished I'd been more wrong about a theory. Not in a million years. Another attack. Just if this doesn't convince the cabinet to proceed with our... Almost hard to believe.
We should add that artifact to the collection as soon as possible.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. You know. Certainly doesn't feel like it. I don't want to think what would have happened if you two had...
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
You're cleared to head back up.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
My officers were unprepared
there
for what
you
happened
are.
at the spaceport.
I believe we have some
intend to
things
correct
we
that.
should discuss.
The next time Terramorphs rear their ugly heads, the UC is going to be ready.
Captain, Hadrian, it would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today, as well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. Now, today's events have only... You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the Ark. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right... As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective... As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop...
Yes.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed, first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, it has its perks. Only citizens can purchase property in the city. There's also a credit disbursement when you first join. Help get you on your feet. But above all, you'd become a dedicated part of the... I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your... You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks.
You've got the Cabinet's full backing to
I'm
prevent
gonna
more
go check in
attacks.
with Chief Engineer
Understand?
Kulkarni. Start getting a plan together for that data.
We're on the cutting edge of technology here. It's an exciting place to be.
All you need to concern yourself with right now is collecting that data.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Excuse me? Was it really terramorphs in the city? Did you actually go down there and fight those things?
They said it's over, that we can get back to work. They said it's over, that we can get back to work.
Have you seen these orders? A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the Cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately,
And I do mean cooperate. Threat, though that doesn't mean we can't get...
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore? Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. But my suspicion is we're going to have to...
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just...
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an...
So, if you are going to try and access the device...
Now, we recovered some intel we believe, but there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over, but I can't make any promises.
Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Radcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the use. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source. And someone... All right. Here, your diplomatic ID.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to...
Captain, would you like to finish your briefing? Ambassador Balmore's. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing, he's since lent his support to a small number of... Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Well said. There's no reason to assume they're any worse than us, despite their cultural beliefs.
Of course. But there is another wrinkle. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but...
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duty.
The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's... The embassy is still legally House Varun's sovereign territory, so we're not We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more... But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city.
Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin. If we can... But let's hope it doesn't come to that. I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance. Here, This device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to... And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already... I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach... Be smart out there, Captain.
Okay. Hello. Keeping the skies safe out there?
Ah, if it isn't my favorite part-time security officer. The whole department is in the process of recovering, myself included. Things can be replaced and wounds can be healed. Luckily, we've built a good culture here, and we hired some new I do. Thanks to you, the spaceport is... We've received a tip that someone has been bringing in contraband into New Atlantis through the spaceport. Well, technology-wise, criminals have... Smugglers often have a fancy... But luckily, we can still use... Great. First, ask them if they've noticed... Once you've gotten a lead, cross-reference their testimony with shipwreck. When you're done... There should be a few working on the landing pads. If they don't know anything, right now, we don't have any good leads. But if anyone's seen anything, it will give us something to go. See you later.
Contrary to what you might have heard, UC security personnel are good people. And Sergeant Yumi just happens to be an old friend. This was a good outing. Glad to haul. Bye-bye.
Any violations of the law may be met with fines, incarceration, and, if necessary, lethal force.
Excuse me. Can I help you? Can't say I have. When you work a job like this, you... Look, I'm just a port worker. My whole... Now, if you don't mind...
Something I can do for you? It's about time. I've been telling my supervisor about that cargo ship. It's the way the crew handled the cargo. The manifest said they were carrying potatoes, spud. I don't know what was in those crates, but it certainly wasn't that. That's the problem. I don't really look at the ship names when... I think it was UC576B. I do know it. Gotta go.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Okay.
I don't know if you've heard, but my sister started her own homestead.
Back to the lodge, shall we?
Yes? What?
May I help you?
I hope you're not here to report something. The security of the... That I do, Captain. Sergeant Yumi said you'd be coming to pick it. You've got good timing, too. I actually have a friend on a classified star station who sent me this list of potential smugglers the other day. Here you are. Give an IOU for... Yep. Every ship on that list has a route that goes through New Atlantis. And if they're smuggling stuff there, you can bet you're... That's right. Classified station. Nothing you need to be concerned with. Keep your eyes open.
Hello.
must be so proud.
She's so amazing. Her only flaw is
Hasn't found those smugglers yet? Is that right? See you later, Captain. How's the investigation going? Is that right? Let me know if you have any questions. Found those smugglers yet? Is that right? Captain Enjai's ship. I think you might have hit the mark here. You had reports of their crew being less than professional on several occasions. Still, being a little rough around the edges. Then the next step is searching their cargo for any smuggled contraband. And, as luck would have it, I'll make the call to have the ship... Your job is to board the ship, locate any illicit... And if any of the crew puts up a fight, I trust you know what to do.
It's always a great day here.
You will be scanned.
Me know when you're ready to launch.
You with UC Security? My suggestion, you turn around and pretend you saw nothing. You're barking up the wrong tree. Just get off the ship and you don't need to be here. Make it easy on yourself.
Looking for something? What? Well, it looks like you got me, officer. I guess this means my potato shipping days are numbered. But maybe you'd be willing to give a first-time offender. I don't suppose you're interested in... It's simple. I give you a large sum of creds. You turn around and tell your sergeant. Good choice, Captain. Here's your credits. All you have to...
Don't make this harder than it has to be.
While we're here, it wouldn't hurt if we checked in at the lodge.
be scanned as you enter the city. Please. Okay.
How's the investigation going? Good work. Did you find anything? Nothing. Damn, I was really... I'll do my best not to wait. Anyway, here's your payment. Just because we didn't cut...
Oh, I was hoping we might run into one another again. Your timing is most fortuitous. I'm on the verge of something, but... You have no idea how... Of course, now that I understand more about what's going on, it seems plain as day. And yet I never... The tertiary trunks have also liquefied their interiors, but they're not vibrating. I thought perhaps they're listening. It means it is ready to I believe this tree is sending vibrations out. As of yet, there's been no response. I suspect that will not change. We're continuing to see an increase in the strength and frequency of the vibrations. If there's no response, the tree may vibrate itself. Now, as of yet, there has been no response. While it can't be ruled out that the intended recipient of these messages was cut down during the city's expansion, over 100 years ago, the United Colonies, as a gesture of peace and goodwill, a near-literal olive branch... Nice. Short-sighted. Of course you can't just uproot a native species and plunk it down on some other... Clearly no exobotanists were consulted ahead of time. I'm sorry, I'll get to... The tree died, yes, but branches were kept. At least one still exists. If I had that branch, I could get DNA samples, and then using various data I've gathered, I could attempt to simulate a... We could then broadcast that response and hopefully calm down our friend here. But... The museum in Aquila City is under the supervision of one... I don't know anything about her, but hopefully she'll be willing to listen to reason. All right, off you go.
sorry, but I need sign-off from the Interstellar.
You our visitor?
Hard to believe it's been 2 decades since we were at war with the Collective, when it seems like only yesterday.
You're good. Proceed inside.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby, offices, or conference room. That means you. Sounds like it was a real mess down at the spaceport.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective. But you lead, and I'll follow.
Terramorphs? As in more than one? All that security and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
Official business? Talk to the ambassador.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants Terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right. I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go? You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance, one, to convince me. Understood. I'm listening. You know that for sure. That is interesting. I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility. Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terramorphs. The monitors will make sure of it. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight. Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement? Excellent. They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights. Two unlikely allies, I guess. People often mistake rivals for enemies. We don't have to like each other to do the right thing.
Can we run through it one more time?
This isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy. I've never seen a tree like this before in my entire life. It'd actually be more fascinating if the branches weren't floating around.
You've got nothing.
have anything valuable?
Bring it on.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss. Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack, then the embassy was struck. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly? Harmless spores, you have my word, but hard to navigate. It is the sap of the tree that gives it. But I must know of the rest of the city. Does it still stand? I take it you didn't have such an experience. Yes, the entire embassy was thrown into lockdown. A disconcerting experience, to say. Is that right, huh? Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the space. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On terror... The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. But, if I am to grant you For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter, with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures the knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends.
As the chair of Constellation, I take personal responsibility in vouching for this woman's integrity. She'll keep her word.
Well then, I shall... Please. Let's hope it still works. And... there. Let it be used for good. The Great Serpent guide your path. The affairs of House Varun are our own. House Varun committed itself. This was said at the time to be the desire of the Great Serpent, and I do not believe. So, when my brethren left, I remained, honoring the Serpent's will. It was tolerable, even pleasant. We remade this place as best we could into a home we all would recognize. With my brethren gone, it has been trying. But the Great Serpent... The Great Serpent is so... When our founder, Jinan Varun, left the United Colonies 140 years ago for distant stars, it was... The Serpent made us who we are today. Its voice speaks to us, shepherding us through the dark and...
Ooh, it'll be a shame to leave that behind. I have things for you. Here, I have something for you. You're welcome. I picked it up on one of our latest planetary expeditions. I'm more than just an... I'm just pleased I get to utilize some of my old field collecting skills. Check back with me from time to time after we return from our planetary jaunts. If I... We should add that artifact to the collection as soon as possible. Okay.
Howdy.
Hey.
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? We're all in agreement. So the old man was still lurking around in there. And now, I've already arranged everything with the Ark. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy... Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is absolute best behavior down there, all right? There may be UC soldiers in the archives, but any missteps down there, and it's not you they're gonna be helping.
Here on Vanguard business?
What response?
I'm told by top officials the cabinet already has a plan in place.
I asked my boss what they're doing to stop you.
approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin.
There you are.
Captain, Deputy told me what went down. Impressive work.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next.
Time for us to start getting some real answers, and figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready. Acknowledged and accepted, Captain. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Yes?
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? It doesn't. We don't really care where else you might have been. Once you earn your place in the United Colonies, it's your... Well, only citizens can own property in New Atlantis. We also pay a discounted rate. And all citizens receive an... Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen? Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms? I'm sorry. I can't share any more without your word. Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
I think I got them. What do you call them?
I've lived in New Atlantis almost my entire life, and I had no idea this place even existed. The UC certainly excels at keeping secrets.
You may proceed down the corridor. But there are no additional visitors permitted. Your friend's gonna have to wait out here.
I'll be fine. You go on ahead.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat. President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get, which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am? Perceptive. I like that. I'm Francois Sanon, but most know me as Victus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes, but the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here, a sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies. Very astute. That's my daughter. Has she shared with you the nature of our... Did she? Our relationship has always been. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial, and I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do. It was an attempt by the United Colonies to solidify its own. They were raised by adoptive families made up of scholars and tacticians, trained at the United, displayed. But by the time the Colony War came to a close, but that's ancient history now. You have much more pressing matters. After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the Colony War. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find the names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange... Well, who better? But many of them I knew personally. And I've always had a mind for details. Where someone was born. You'd be shocked how often an otherwise brilliant criminal flees to the planet just next to the one where they were. I simply use my own personal knowledge and the information our group collects for me. There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colonies' more problematic. If it dealt death, he could make a deal. When the Colony War ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him, however you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done. You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be... Speak to Deputy McIntyre. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that someone might be tying up this... Though I would ask you, do not make the mistake of confusing. Captain, your files indicate a track record of unlikely successes. It is my genuine hope that... And this? If that's what you require to sleep in. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Wolf System. There's a star station in the vicinity. The Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find him.
verified. You may proceed to the exit.
Captain, did your meeting go well? I hope it's clear now why we needed you to agree to all the secrecy. Surprised me too when I learned it, but the prisoner has proven useful over the years, and kept far from any But I do think it's worth re-emphasizing. No one else can know about this. The Major doesn't have clearance for this sort of information, and she certainly doesn't need a distraction from her current which is why I need you to keep... Short of jailing you? No, you're right. Though I presume he didn't call you down there simply to discuss his daughter. Dr. Reginald Orlaise? He's finally found him. Of course, killing Orlaise is completely out of the question, but bringing him to justice, that'd be a huge win for the UC. What's being... Really? He found the members of the research team. We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower if he just gave us that information. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so long as you make every effort to bring... Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss regarding your meeting? The Den? It's a star station. Orbiting Wolf, the second star station. The first one was blown to smithereens by House Varun during the Serpent's Crusade. The place has always acted as a remote strategic hub, primarily for repairing and refueling UC... But because of its distance from the rest of the UC, things there have always been... I can think of worse places in the galaxy for a criminal to hide out. Trusting the man downstairs would be a mistake. But I don't think you need to be too concerned. This is far from the first name he's handed over, and all previous missions went off. So while I'd certainly warrant caution, I think you can proceed. Then I'll bid you good day, Captain. And remind you...
I'm always ready to make a deal. Welcome to Feeling Realty. I'm Zora, and I'm here to help with whatever you may need. What brings you in today? Looking to settle down or move up? I don't blame you. I'm here if you have any more questions or... Well, first of all, let me just say congratulations. Let's see what we have. Right now, I've got a little place in the well that's up for grabs. Needs some work, and the location is... I have a penthouse apartment in one of the residential towers. I forgot. Sound like something you're... Stop by anytime. Never a better time than right now to settle down. Oh, don't I wish. Between UC regulations, but you best believe I'm keeping an eye on the situation and actively lobbying. Enjoy your time in New Atlantis.
You're back. Did you...
We have it. Go ahead. Do the honors.
It fits! Energy spiked a bit, but it's restabilized.
Is there anything new showing up?
No, it's the same as before. There's a massive output as the artifact is added, then it harmonizes. Like it's waiting for the others.
That's speculation, but I think you're right. We need more. Here. You've earned this. Welcome to Constellation. As a full member this time. Honestly, this just makes it more official. Call it right person, right place, right time. But we're going to do great things together. All of us. By the way, how would you like to keep traveling together? I'm not sitting behind my desk for this. These artifacts are a new chap, and I want you out there as well. You got results. Oh, we'll be working with everyone here at the Lodge sooner or later. Constellation is all... Sometimes we'll partner up, sometimes we'll go solo. It's not a formal arrangement. We just came back with good news. We've got... All right. We've got a few more leads we should talk about. First, there's an expedition that Samco has been putting together. It's in Freestar Collective Space, and he knows it inside and out. There's also the Eye, our star station in orbit. About time for you to meet Vladimir. He's been hard at work tracking down more anomalies. And last but not least, Noel. Have we heard anything from Barrett yet?
A courier from Argos Extractors came by to let us know they're packing up the operation on Vectera. But that's it, no other word.
That's not good. We should get over there and check on Barrett in person. Oh, that's right. He wasn't here when you first showed up. He should be back by now. I'll let him handle the introductions. If I steal his thunder, I'll never hear the end of it. His mind is always somewhere, but there's no arguing his knack for being in the right place at the wrong time. Oh, too bad he couldn't see the artifacts coming together. But knowing him, he'll be so excited when he gets a look, it won't occur to... We maintain a star station in orbit above us. It's where we do all our deep space scanning. Vladimir runs the station. Brilliant astronomer. It's all important, but if you want a direction, I'd grab Barrett first. He's not just an old... No, it's fine. Until later.
cannot wait to meet her. It's been ages since Constellation has had someone new. I wonder what she's like.
Just go easy on him. Being interrogated by a kid ain't exactly the best way to make a first impression.
I'll limit it to the really important stuff, Dad.
This does not bode well. And you must be the latest poor fool to get dragged into our dysfunctional little family. Whoa. I know a few dark sides of the Aquila Moons, but if you're looking for deep history lessons, well, I'm gonna fall asleep before you do.
Trust me. Don't encourage him. Kuriko, by the way. Hi. It helps to have a good teacher. Dad, don't let it go to your head.
Sam? Not let it go to his head? Impossible.
A compliment from little Cora. It's not even my birthday. Now, let's talk business. Sarah tell you about the expedition? Sure enough, that's where we're heading. The three of us are heading to Aquila, first settled planet of the Freestar Collective, and, not coincidentally, the home of their capital, Aquila City. We'll land in the city's spaceports, but the frontier's our goal. It's rough country. Spawned a lot of stories. And I got a lead on a tale that makes me think one thing. Artifact. Yeah, don't piss off the Freestar Rangers. As far as the Collective is concerned, they're the good guys, but that don't make them any less dangerous. Okay, we'll meet you on board your ship. Talk more. Once we land on Aquila, it's gonna be you and me. So if you want to do any freewheeling before then...
I am at your service, Captain.
Miss Morgan.
Sarah, please. Good work dealing with those merchants in Freestar space.
Oh, yeah? And...
What? I read your report. They sent thanks. Good job.
Good job? That's it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You're welcome.
Although, you might want to run your report through a spell check first. But that's all.
How do you think this adventure is going? Great? Fantastic? A moment in
Dad and I will
time
be
you'll
riding passenger
treasure
with you.
forever?
The most boring job in
I'm
space travel.
thinking all three.
It's the best. I met another kid my age, not even once. She didn't even know how to replace a phase. I want to fly my own ship and go all, but hopefully not as crazy as your travels. I thought Dad's were. I read. I look around the ship, but no touching. But he said I have to be respectful on your ship. Hint, hint. You can ask. Yup, I've been his co-pilot. I just have to promise not to Dad says when I'm older.
Appreciate the lift. You better believe it. Enjoy.
You've got something for me? Talk to you later.
Do you need anything? Your clothes cleaned? Your boots? That was a good talk. It'll be hard to top it, but you always manage.
We have liftoff. Apogee kick complete. Orbit steady. Nice clean dock, Captain.
All right, let's get this crate into space.
We got a Rook on deck. Good to see Constellation getting some fresh blood. Ah, gotta pass the hours on the Star Station somehow. And the Iron's always been good to me.
Just don't challenge him to an arm wrestling competition.
Wish I could have been down at the lodge to see the artifacts come together. But I got a little lost peeking through the eye. Probably would have just gotten annoyed at being bothered. I'll catch a smile at our next big revelation. You know there's... Now, this station, the Eye, rigged up for deep space scans. Barrett and Sarah teased out the signs of where our artifacts could be hiding after we caught our second one. But the data takes a slow ride along the Sea of Light. Years or decades between us and the fringes of space without a grav track. You won't be the only constellation out there. Andreja and Mateo are both following up on scans themselves. Mateo went out recently, but Andreja, it's been a while. Hate to pull a worried old man.
Yes, indeed. Stop worrying so much, Vladimir. If she's out there, we'll find her.
She should be at one of the 2 sites I've marked on your star map. Can take care of herself, but anyway, hopefully you'll be catching Fortune's smile. Happy hunting. Ever run the scholars on the Centaurus proclamation? Stolen by some fool's joke of a Crimson Fleet rook looking to trade names to Captain. Time dances its years forward, and I'd retired. That's when our own set... Of course, I didn't have the Centaurus proclamation just lounging in my pockets. Tipped your ear long enough, but the short line of it, Sarah and I returned the treaty to the rightful owner. I make the visit when they need me. Don't mind the loner's life most days, but I should make the trip more often. Can't let Walter be the only one tending bar there too long. Everyone will forget. That's why I missed your little welcome party. Wouldn't mind a helper's hand, though. Up-to-date planetary scans would help filter all the data I have to sift through. And Constellation can slide a credit or 2 your way. When you're orbiting a planet, your ship's scanners can pick up all sorts of information. It all gets downloaded into data you can hand over to anyone who's in. Then we're hand in hand in agreement. And the darkness gets lit. Usually it doesn't. I'm overdrawn from Lady. It's a long tale to tip your ear on. But if you ever thought I was going to see life's eclipse from there, but if you do go there,
Yes, Your Eminence?
It appears things have gone downhill since the last time you were here. Argos has clearly washed its hands of this operation.
Well, you're back. Oh no, don't start. I've had enough Barrett for one lifetime. I don't need the sequel showing up on my doorstep. More pirates showed up when you were gone. We weren't as lucky this time. Calvert, Troy, some of the new Dusties, they didn't make it. It's not like we were eager to stick around, but we had injured people on recovery and pickup coming at some point, just not soon enough. Anyway, I was pinned down behind some crates with Barrett, bullets and laser fire everywhere. No smile on that damn carefree face of his. I started steeling myself to go out fighting. Then that idiot puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "Stay here, Lynn. I got you."
Not quite. Barrett is more dangerous.
Next thing I know, 2 of the pirates are dead, and he's got the 3rd one, drags him out into the open at gunpoint, and demands to talk, or else I'm go... And that's when they brought out... I didn't overhear everything, but after the 10 longest seconds of my life, and that's the last I saw. They could have grav-jumped anywhere. I tried pinging a transmission to the ship in the comms building before they... You want to try it? Go ahead. But the odds of them being alive... I've lost...
Oh, that jump looked painful. Not doing that. That last click is so satisfying, isn't it?
You wanna try fixing that computer? Don't see what good it will do since they're already gone, but fine. Here. You need any more, feel free. I'm fine, Dusty. In this line of work, you make do. Only managed to scrounge up one so far.
Can't believe we got into this mess. Would you be quiet? Trying to make out the grav jump calculations before we're out of range. Out of range of what? Out of range of the sensor array on Vectera. Would you keep up? Once we're outside the star system, the bandwidth goes from instant speed to effectively never. What good is sending a transmission down there? You gonna tell Lynn how royally screwed we both are? She doesn't even have a ship. You underestimate how many of my admirers there are in the galaxy, Heller. One of them is bound to show up, looking to reunite with this handsome face. We're doomed. Capital D, doomed. Got it, okay. Whoever finds this, I'm attaching the interstellar coordinates to the metadata on the transmission. Rescue us. Repeat. Rescue us.
So, you actually get that computer working again? What? Let me... Funny. Even knowing he's alive. Okay. Let me send you the location data. Be a while before Argos comes to pick me up. And hey, if you ever need a little extra help... Seems like you've been keeping busy, Dusty. If, you find yourself in need of a capable trap, my contract's up with Argos, and I could... If you give me an outpost to run, I'll have it optimized for rapid material production in no time. I'm a good hand with explosives, and you'll never hear me complain about carrying a heavy pack. Sure. I don't mind taking orders from a former employee. After this mess, certain. Works for me. I'm not fussy about a site. Right. I'll get to work. Pleasant change of scenery.
You Emulous vessels. Word. Deliver a message. Colonists in the system. Emergency. Come to my farm. Urgent.
Setting down, everything in the green.
Is it weird that I still get nervous around you? We're literally best friends after all.
it's you. And here I thought you were some pirate coming back to kill me. Lucky me, right? Considering the spaceship wreckage, you mean? Yeah. Well, you missed the worst of it. Pretty sure we ripped through all the emergency meds that were salvageable. Hey, you know, when I pulled you to the med bench back on Vectera, I honestly thought, shit, I think I just saved someone's life. Oddly proud moment, you know? So, I guess I'm saying, glad I paid it forward.
Indeed. Without your help, we wouldn't have ever gotten this worthwhile addition to Constellation.
Man, I was so terrified when I got pulled on board that pirate ship. There it was all, sorry, brother, I'll get us out of this. Trust me. Oh, he tells me we need to start pretending to fight each other. I just remember him shouting, "This kid is a killer. How am I supposed to defend myself?" I mean, I didn't think it would work, but they came in. All of a sudden, we were wrestling with... Bingo. Blasted the pilot right in the back. Through to the flight console. I blacked out. And when I came to, there he was. You missed the fun part, Heller. I mean, I go through all the... Then he did... Oh, yeah. Probably should have talked about that. So, I was real excited when a ship showed. And then, really less excited when Barrett said, it's... I was drifting in and out, but got a signal from the ship before they grav jumped. Guessing, hey, I should... Yeah, just, don't... give me a minute. I think the worst of it is... Let me know when you want to head... Still think there might be a spot for me on your ship? I gotta get off this rock. You bet. I've worked on enough remote outposts that I know a thing or two about optimizing them for material production. And if you're in the market for a mining buddy... What did I say?
When you have a moment, I'd like to speak to you. Thanks for taking the time to talk. I wanted to ask you about this. When you pulled it from the rock, held it in your... No, I don't think you understand. I know. How did you feel? Oh my goodness. When it comes to the artifacts, it never ceases to amaze me. True. The artifacts are so different, so alien. And I'm certain one of them reached out. Is there? After spending years gathering data about the artifacts. frustrating? No. It would be... oh, well... I knew I picked the right person for the job. Look, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to talk. And I also wanted to say, well, I'm pleased we're on this journey together.
You've given the fleet a lot of trouble, Barrett. Hey, since when is surviving being attacked causing trouble? Isn't that just fighting back? Hey, pilot, could you move your arm a little bit to the left? I can't make out the console.
Don't move! He's trying to figure out our destination, probably transmitting this conversation right now while we're still in orbit.
Well, yeah, thought I was making that pretty obvious. Okay, put the gun down. I'm done. See? My retinas are pointing away from the console and towards this lovely view of space we have out the window.
Tie him up. Once we get back to the base, the fun starts.
Still think there might be a... Phew, oh, I'm glad to hear you say that. You got it. Catch you on the flip side, boss.
We lifting off right away, or do you need a
I've
little
got
bit
something
of time?
with your name on it, boss.
It must be great to be able to see yourself whenever you want. I bet your whole house
Hey,
is
you
full
need something?
of mirrors.
Brace yourself, boss.
Glad to see you're back in one piece. Nice to see you. Yes. I never considered anything else. My parents were miners too. The longest I've spent above ground was the year and a half. I prefer to keep my boots full. No, I don't. I only ask as many questions. No. Whatever that thing was, it's the only one I've ever... And I'm glad you bounced back from it. Losing a miner. What about it? I did. I know I don't seem like the military type. I was only in the military for a year and a half. I spent the rest of the... I was talked into it. Only one of us walked. I was a drill sergeant. I have a firm hand and a knack for getting the best out of... Well, I lost someone dear to me in the war. I miss... Mining can be as dangerous as combat, you know. There's a good reason why I've held on to old habits.
Ay, coño, esto es una waifu.
It was my husband. The love of my
Ay,
life.
mira, está soltera.
He was killed just a month before the armistice. Thank you. Okay. Be safe.
¿Quieres ver el waifu? Aquí tenemos uno.
Anything I can do for you?
Can I help? Bye.
Yo me voy a hacer una tripulación entera de chicos con pelo tuerto. Vamos. Todos van a hacer eso.
Where are we going? What are we doing?
Esta es una
What's
excepción
next
porque me
for
cayó
me
muy
and
bien.
you? If you're in need of a loyal worker,
Guapo el sol este, ¿no? Un momento, yo no tengo ahí...
Hey, contact Charlie 3. That's you. Charlie 3. Nice to meet you. Bye, Charlie 3. Hi. Just doing my daily paying it forward. Avoid the Altair system. Like big time. I meet so many people, and I'm just giving up trying to... So you're the third Charlie I've met today. Sure. So, I'm doing my rounds. Spacers all over the damn place there. Distress call, yammering nonstop. Something big's going down there, and all of us with no skin in the game? Best we just... Charlie 3, you? Oh, bye, Charlie 3. You've been like...
Dad, have you ever tried Aurora?
Well, not in a long time. Sweetheart, not since you were born.
Beginning left. What was it like?
Terrible. It was terrible. You stay away from that stuff, Cora. Trust me. It's the worst.
Is mining on the schedule today?
There's no certainty to the universe at all. Once you really start getting out there, the laws of physics kind of turn into suggestions.
You're pulling my leg again, right? What's the latest thing you've seen? No exaggerations this time.
Think. Unicorn. Not kidding.
Wait. The mythical mare with the magic horn thing? Come on. Was King Arthur riding on it too?
Okay, it was more of an extremophile in the vague shape of a horse. But my point still stands. You need an open mind out there. You go into the far reaches of space too tightly wound, your brain is just gonna pop like a... Holy shit. You actually found me.
I wish I could say this is the first time this has happened with Barrett. But, well, it isn't.
Well, this is turning into a regular Constellation party, isn't it? I should have brought drinks. Matsura the Grim here and I actually have a...
Both escape artists. Being captured by system.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Relativity. You know, it's actually been kind of nice.
No sense letting people's last moments be on...
See, that's what I like about you, Matsura.
I have enjoyed our time together, Barrett. Is Constellation willing to pay ransom in exchange for this man's freedom? You want me to end all this with nothing? A ransom isn't about how much one... Nobody wants that. Sounds like you might be... Enough! I must insist...
We do have some insurance.
Does that mean you'll be paying me, Miss?
We don't need to be introduced. And we would appreciate it if you could spread the word in the Crimson Fleet that Barrett...
That's a fair point. But I can't...
Do what you can. A suggestion to the right ears can...
Very well.
See you around, Matsura. I mean...
Where to next?
Struts retracting. Let's get out of here. Hell of a view from here.
All right, Barrett, you ready to play?
I was born ready.
I set you up there. That was an oldie but a goodie.
Well, a rolling stone gathers no moss.
Wait, that is a saying? No way.
From old Earth.
Landing struts primed. Retros firing.
Well, I may be drunk, sir, but in the morning you'll still be ugly.
Where's that from?
Some guy named Churchill. Later, friend.
How have you been?
So, back to the lodge?
Usig Isaac. Usag Isaac.
Mining operations can make or break an entire company. Dig in the wrong place, and that's millions of credits down the drain.
Don't come any closer. Identify yourself.
Ah, good. I suppose I should have guessed. It has been too long since I checked in.
I'm just glad we found you unharmed, Andreja. Vladimir and I were worried.
You are the newest member, yes? Do they often send you to check up on other, more senior members? Perhaps. I suspect Vladimir worried you might find me on the ground, instead of this one. We waste time. We should complete our mission and then we can talk. Let us talk more once our mission is complete. You picked the wrong fucking...
Guys, you get yourself killed! Back off! Back off!
Listen up, you degenerate group of lowlives. Yeah, now I got your attention. This is Neva. A
might not know all you, but you sure as hell know me. I'm the oil that keeps our machine running. And guess what? The machine is about to get bigger. We got solid info that the labs and bases left over from the colony war are all pretty much still functional. Abandoned, but intact. That means the Crimson Fleet gets new hidey holes all across the settled system. So go out there and start making yourselves at home.
I'll be okay. I'm not worth it! Meet your...
Quiet. Did you hear that?
Not the best you can do. This is badly weird. You've got nothing.
No way!
Don't come any... Ah, good.
I'm just glad we found...
You are the newest member. Perhaps. We waste time.